Thursday afternoon, 31st day of December 2020. Wow. It's almost like a miracle to be alive at this time. 365 days in the year 2020, and they had the 365th day. Wow. Nyame aye bi adofo no. Minim ne wo fa mu afi mu ebia na neoma wo hwe anim no wo nsa nka ni nyina ba wonim wo ade ba ko bi enye nipa nyina na enya bi wo nkwa moja edi wo mafusane tetwemada wabodwim nyame aye bi. It's taking the grace of God for us to come this far. "27 minutes after 2, live on Asempa 94.7 FM. All talk all day. Ekosiisen so any Ghana's biggest and the most authoritative political, social, current affairs talk show. Medidio Saibonsu, Ufremi Ubia Mejo. So I speak on behalf of the best production team in town, a team that has done everything possible to make this show number one. Dominic Kisi Yaboa, Nana Chumberema, Jackson Osei Tiamwa, Eric Oparibe Brefeno, DJ Yeyo, and then DJ Yeyo birthday, Eric Opare. Now, mon friend manimra DJ Yeyo birthday, and a happy birthday to you, my brother, and live to be 94.7 and beyond. Sounds na Queen Star Japan. Mix up the Ekosiisen production team with support from Oman Hene Kwabena Sante, Oman Hene Bibia Ubia Yechia and Yawada. Da etwatwo wa fit 2020 mu eni enti nyame adoma enwumrei yenyina ye kwa sorry just to go and usher in the year 2021. Oh, I'm told, and this year is a leap year. Okay, there are 366 days enti mo nyame ye madom a moko KG and primary schools apapa no Chum ko primary school Sukura wa kwa Oto wa nkoko Domi ko primary school St. Teresa's wa Okay Ena Jackson wo ko we Lutheran no ever. Oh, okay. Lutheran schools ewo Kumasi nti say uko primary school papa ko KG papa na yewo recitals be near 30 days out of November, April, June, and November. All the rest are 31 except February alone. That's interesting. This year a leap year in the 366 days and the 366th day of the year 2020. Yadamunyana ase. Nyamenko so inshra say mutie yen, and we are grateful for making us number one. This year has been a good year for us here on Ekosiisen. It's been a year ultimo say Nioma and Sheda and Kuyi as planned. Of course, the year started off very well, and by February, March, COVID-19 hit us here in Ghana. And it's been a series of rolling disasters, of course, on the international stage and here in Ghana. On the international stage, and I can recall the killing of George Floyd in the US and a subsequent protest by the Black Lives Matter protest. There was the burning of California, a very acrimonious political campaign in the US, between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Very, very interesting and rather acrimonious campaign. Of course, allegations of fraud and illegal voting, and the worst pandemic the world has seen in more than a century also hit us. And it began, in somewhere November, Wuhan in China. But by January, February, March 2020, now I started to spread it till say WHO declared as a pandemic. Here in Ghana, yes, COVID-19 was a major issue for this year and how it was managed. One of the other issues, of course, na election year, and him said electioneering campaigns need take center stage. The launch of the party manifestos, the NDC manifesto, the NPP manifesto, and also dominate media discussions. Of course, the selection of Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, and so dominate media discussions. Getting to the latter part of the year, some weeks before election, the Ejapa deal dominated media discussions. The resignation of Martin Amido, the death of some high-profile personalities in our country. And now me go through the list, Enra and Numre, and I was like, wow, a lot has happened this year. And yeah, easy. I mean, Apreku, my daughter, passed on this year. Bishop Bernard Nyako. Kofi B, high life musician Kofi B. Kojo Wiafe na oye juma wa despite media. Nana JC Kappa also despite media. Nana Tufo, high life musician. Prophet Seth Frimpong. Ray Styles. Ray Styles were, is it pencil celebrities? Right? Yeah. On Sunya baby called this year. And of course, Sir John, lawyer Kojo Owusu Free. This year also passed on. And Jerry John Rawlings, former president of the Republic, and so passed on. Nipan Edward Minim said, yes, it is true na yebebo wundin, but ye will nipa be brave busuya. And of course, Old Saint and Professor of Medicine, Professor Plange Ruel, also another high-profile personality at this year, COVID. Ejino efri yensem nipan edoso. Victor Newman, wow, Victor Newman, and so wo ejino efri yensem this year 2020. Inti, yes, it's been a year of the former MP from Fantaman. Honorable Kwanzaa Hayford, and so wo ejeno efri yensem. And yes, a series of rolling disasters from death to COVID and Kasa, lockdown by the amount for a fair moon. It's been a terrifying year. It's been a worrisome year. But in the same year, it's sure to be a resilient year. Heroic year for some, and very hopeful for others as well, because here stories being so a man for na omunshada initiative from nowhere became big people. And of course, the year cannot end without us talking about the election petition. The first time a Yehumbi presidential election petition was in 2013. And this year, so another one has been filed. It's been a very, very interesting year. And Honorable KK Sam, former mayor of Sekondi Takraden, so this year passed on. And Minim, the person you also remember, a name that comes to mind this year, Lusu this year. And the year 2020 has been a really, really interesting year. And Mekase described the year in one word. What would that word be? I have said, sir, it's been a terrifying year. It's been a worrisome year. But at the same time, a resilient year, heroic one, and a hopeful year for some, Into meaning, what word you would use to describe the year 2020 as we bid farewell to a year many have described as a year, probably the worst year. Was on him said Ghana a very youthful, your population a youthful population. Majority of our population a youthful. Inti bebrinano 83 come no meaning domi 83 come no hui. Chumri ohuyon. Bebrena ehu 83 komono. You know, me ehu bebrena ehu. For some of us, no, our worst year, the year 2020. For everything that has happened in this year, you know, yebehwe, we hope say afia yebe wurem no ebeye afe papa. Obi Nanato 4 and Kofi B also passed. Unfortunately, I mentioned those two names, Nanato 4 and Kofi B. Me boss Adini. We say good afternoon, Obi. A happy new year. Can you please wish my daughter a happy birthday for me? Happy birthday to Jessica Amwaten in Oslo, Norway. From your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Amwaten, and your sisters Loretta, Vanessa, and Emanuela Amwaten, all in Oslo, Norway. And ye sukra ye jai ehwementi wana wonani agene wose ye ne won ebom ma ye ni agenti say would do birthday and happy birthday to you. What a day to celebrate a birthday, the last day of the year 2020. Happy birthday to Kwesifo Sutremanten. May God continue to bless you with many blessings. I would always love you, make you happy, and I really love you, son, from your father Kofi Tremanten, aka Kofi Go. Kofi Tremanten, aka Kofi Go. When you say, oh, Obi, you forgot Nana JC Kappa of Peace FM. I mentioned his name. Nana JC Kappa and Yenuya Wiafe, me boss are two names Ninyanara. For the avoidance of doubt, and I mentioned that Preku, my daughter, Bishop Bernard Nyako, Jerry John Rollins, Kofi B, Kwejo Wiafe of Despite Media, Nana JC Kappa of Despite Media, Nana Tufo High Life musician, Prophet Seth Frempong, Ray Styles of Pencils Celebrities, and Sir John, and of course, Kwanzaa Hayford, former MP in Fanteman Constituency, Victor Newman. Oh, Prof Bene was murdered, you know, gruesome murder. You know, into Prof Bene, law professor, one of the very best our country has known, and so a training quad this year. Which other names? I mean, Unimbia. We be say Oba Penny Mame Abna Ejewa, a grandmother of Honorable Kwabna Otredako Mensa, MP for Takrade. Okay, also passed on. We say Obi, it's a disaster year, and you know why? I know, Mr. President in Denmark. I do. We say, I'm in America now, but I want to use this platform to wish all Adansia 98.9 FM listeners a happy new year. They made us. Into Honorable Kojo Majaman anyway, Abba, and to our listeners in Asante Achem Agogo, Mutien wa Adansia FM, Yadamunyana say, thank you always for doing the listening. This one also says Rollins' mother. Yes, Rollins' mama. So Chum Penidin Emame. Rollins' mama also passed on this year. We say Sean Connery of James Bond fame also passed. Please, the name is Trematin. Even if some add G, it's still Trematin. Okay, I hear you. I said Trematin. Oh, Monfancheme. Into Trematin. Thank you. This one also says Old Saint Prof. Plunge Rule. Yes, I mentioned his name as well. COVID-19 first medical casualty. Onassis Kobe, thank you. Old Saint Professor Plunge Rule. What does that make? Old Saint, old student of St. John's School in 2nd D. We are known as Old Saint. Auntie Rollins' mother, Victoria Agbotui, and so a passe on this year. And yes, the names keep coming. Enti ode ba. Some of the names are efi no more a passe on this year. My very good friend Kofi Ameyao says, you've been exceptionally generous and opened doors of opportunities for me in ways I never imagined. You are the man God sent to bless me in 2020, and you did so graciously. Kofi Ejapon, Deputy Director Communications of the NPP, I'm grateful. You are the most valuable person for me in 2020. In way for Kofi Ameyao and or the Emma Kofi Ejapon. I hear you. This one says, Obi, former GIPC boss and MP for Ahanta West, former MP for Ahanta West. Okay, Honorable George Abuaje. Now Honorable George Abuaje, this year now. Oh, it was this year. Wow. Honorable George Abuaje, former GIPC boss and MP, also left us. Okay, Dennis Carl Mauto, thank you for the reminder. Papa. You can also keep some of the names coming while we all remind ourselves how cruel this year 2020 has been to most of us. Kenny Rogers also passed this year. Kenny Rogers. Okay. Kenny Rogers, country music. Wow. We say, Obi, I just lost my father only yesterday. It's very sad. Nane J in Germany. Nane J, sorry about that. But thank you for coming through. Yeboah Kwame on Facebook says, Obi, wish my son a happy birthday for me. Yeboah Clifford in Brecum. I'm watching you live from Barcelona in Spain. Thank you. This one says, okay, let me see. Obi and Fantiman NP2, Kwabinasafo, I've mentioned his name. Obi, another woman also died from Peace FM. Really? I never heard that. David Aisen says, Sir John was the most painful. I agree with you. Sir John really shook our country. Okay. Atumold, CEO of MPH. Atumold also passed on recently. Yes, Onassis, thank you for this one. We say Nana Akwesi Ajeman. Nana Akwesi Ajeman. Former mayor KMA Ana. Ono also passing on this year. Okay, Nana Akwesi Ajeman. And Maradona, Diego Armando. Wow, Charlie, 2020 has been a crazy year. Diego Armando Maradona also passed on this year. We say Pierre Cardin. Yeah, and run me read this story. Say Pierre Cardin, Italian designer. Is he Italian or French? Say French. Ana that be every mo answer. Every mo answer you. Yes, and Chadwick Boseman, okay, actor, also passed this year. Ekosiisen so the higher sempa 90. Yeah, Pierre Cardin, French, right? Yeah, French designer. We say Obi, we also lost Takrady Mayor. Yes, Medical Bonidin Dada. Gastiman in Brecum. Gastiman, thank you. But let me pause and get onto the phone lines. And the him said the NDC caucus in Parliament, the NDC Parliamentary caucus, Asia won partners from the US and the UK. Now, Omodin Sembebrina to on why the party rejected the elections 2020 results. Inti yeya na mihu Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa Facebook page, and he made the point say the meeting was addressed by the leader of the minority, Honorable Haruna Idrisu. In the moment, Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, MP for North Tongue Constituency. Honorable Akwabana, upon to saying,
Obi, Afishapa.
Afipapa enko MSI ho. Mejin se bibia boko.
Nyamiadom bibia boko apomia. Na where.
Oh, nyamiadom kakra. Bronya no utimi didi emi hu wheelchairs be out tokoma some constituent of yours. And that is a bronya no ekoye, you were able to impact lives positively.
Asempa FM.
I will say we tried. Afibia Mayor Christmas project and last year called Bato Catholic Hospital donations, medical equipment, and this year earlier now you take a database of all the physically challenged and omwa yarianti omuhia aid omuhia wheelchairs and your list across the 6 traditional areas until we decided to surprise them having collected the data. And that was our Christmas project for this year. Until we continue to make sure mandate the good people of North Town, we will handle it with care and discharge our duties creditably. Make sure at no point would they think we are taking that mandate for granted, because a very, very onerous responsibility of the and there are many people who want to serve, and when you get the opportunity to serve, you must make sure you live up to the hopes and aspirations of the people, and ensure you leave a legacy and make the place better than you met it. And that is our inspiration.
And I believe based on a nuntina or constituency so share when anyway, congratulations to you for that emphatic win in your constituency.
And as I say, may take this opportunity, because since the co-elections, I have not had the opportunity to express my gratitude to the chiefs and people of North Town on radio. Thank you to, but in terms of a media opportunity, this is the first. And I would like to register our humble appreciation. Ushe, the course of North Town, we were not like some other constituencies, this Techiman South and Seshiyoso and Sene West, other places where there were incidents that have been reported, and where there were deaths. This Odio and Blekuma Central, Techiman South, and other constituencies. Their election was characterized by violence, killings, and some arm twisting, the use of brute force, and all of that. But Woyang Hono, it was largely peaceful, incident-free. And so far as the North Town specific constituency election is concerned, I would say that we must commend all the officials, the security agencies, the EC officials, all the agents, my two opponents, the MPP candidate and the GUM candidate. And I think that it was a very healthy, democratic exercise. We even had a parliamentary debate. I threw the challenge, and many thought that they may not accept to come for the debate, but they came, and it was a very exciting and a very fruitful exercise. At the end of the day, I think North Town won so far as the democracy in that constituency is concerned. And we can only express our appreciation, and I want to assure them the margin of Mudiamame, a margin of victory of 89.71%. It means they expect nothing below excellent representation. And I can give them that assurance. In our work, both in and out of the chamber, you better represent you more honorably and make sure that we lift high the flag of North Town.
And I want to believe, sir, margin 89.71. That's almost like the highest in the Volta region or the whole of Ghana.
Yeah, Matisse, the whole of Ghana is the widest margin in the whole of Ghana. I think the second, about 88%.
That's Kwabre East, right?
I had Francis Asensu.
Okay, that's Bantama.
The deputy chief of staff.
Okay.
He was second. I had the third was Anglo.
Okay.
Honorable Sefe, I think about 86%. And in terms of the ranking, it appears the good people of North Town have really made me proud, and I'm really humbled by that high level of confidence on what reposing me.
And where your third term?
Yeah, my third election. Yeah.
And you are still posting such high figures?
We can only give glory to God.
Wow. Anyways, inti my share Saint Potintia and AD and Komoi. Me who again on Facebook saying Moshia more partners from the UK and the US. At whose instance was that meeting called? And the important mode two one name.
Yo, me that's it. Eddie Kaima mema tiefo nyina afisha pa. Afi where I say yeah that nyame ase pa. Na me tie o earlier discussion about the number of deaths recorded. And just by the way, anecdotally, on Pierre Cardeno, you are right. In both ways, born Italian but later naturalized as French.
As French, yeah.
Whether Italian or French, you are not far from the mark.
Yes.
Yeah. But Usha is such a long list. Yeah, founder, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, and the General Secretary of the MPP. And across the world, over 1.8 million people have died because of COVID-19. It's such a tragic year. We can't wait for it to end. And we are praying that 2021 will be a much hopeful and happy year where we can really forget the sorrows of 2020. And that's one corner. As I say, to me, we shouldn't take a life for granted, and we should make sure we let this life count.
Yeah.
Let's do well to make sure. So whilst we are alive, because tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Whilst we are alive now, let's make it count and let's make an impact positively. Specifically to your interest on our meeting, and to respond to you directly, it was at our instance, the NDC Parliamentary Caucus, Ubekaya initiated a series of engagements based on the position we have taken, which is a position endorsed by the National Executive Committee of the party and the flag bearer of the party. So, presidential 2020 elections, rejected results, and about parliamentary, also we have a specific number of constituencies where we are raising issues with. We take the view that the people of Ghana, the good people of Ghana, my parliamentary majority. Now, so due to the use of underhand dealings, arm twisting, the use of despotic brute force, and all kinds of shenanigans, that parliamentary majority is being denied us. And Ubekaya group I share first, more colleagues in Central for the Parliamentary Press Corps and their colleagues outside the precincts of Parliament. A public collation of the pink sheets for Techiman South and made clear, say, yes, collation, and we did it together with the media. It is without a doubt, sir. Mr. Christopher Baira is the true and proper winner of the Techiman South parliamentary elections. You share a number of civil society organizations, so as the next set of the series of engagements we are having. And this particular meeting, was to continue with those transparent engagements. And you invite the Americans and the British, the embassy and high commission, political chiefs, Omo advise the ambassadors and send reports to London and Washington D.C. So far as happenings in their jurisdiction is concerned. And unim sir, Osha ya democracy. These are two countries that have been following keenly Omo reps or your IPAC meetings. It's not engaging them is not new. Since 1992, they've been part of our democratic trajectory. Unim sir, they also sponsor all kinds of aspects of the democratic exercise in terms of either supporting the EC or supporting CSOs to do monitoring or supporting observer missions. remember, sir, they were all part of various observer groups that came to monitor the election. They are critical stakeholders in terms of our democratic architecture since the return to multi-party democracy in 1992. These two countries, we thought we should meet them first. We will be meeting other diplomats along the line. Now, so these are the two, if you like, historically prominent international partners. It was important to engage them and set out our facts, let them understand that we are Democrats. And yes, you fomented trouble and you destabilize the country. No? We are rather the victims of schemes that have been put in place to subvert the will of the people. And with the evidence that we have gathered, the pink sheets, your video evidence, how collation centers were invaded by troops and returning officers were made to change results and all of that, the kind of strange persons who were wearing uniforms, all of these things, including human rights violations. Many workers is here. We have at least 7 people who have lost their lives. We presented their names, their background, where they were schooling. They were between the ages of 14 and 39 years. And we are insisting, sir, never in the life of our country should it be acceptable, sir. You can just take people's life, just shoot and kill and get away with it. Or more carry out those extrajudicial killings. And those who gave the orders must be pursued and must be brought to justice. And these are all part of the demands we are making. The fact the petitioner you're filing also, Ubekaya 2012, the international community was allowed to follow keenly. They even had seats at the Supreme Court where they could follow the process more keenly. And we did encourage them to also avail themselves to that kind of opportunity based on the precedent of 2012. And then the parliamentary majority, we made it clear that if our parliamentary majority is not granted us, we cannot guarantee a smooth transition approaching the midnight of 6th January 2021. These are some of the issues that you discussed here, and we took their questions, and you could tell, sir, they welcomed the exercise. It was very transparent, and we made sure that at the end of the day, what is important, and it's you're about protecting your democracy. You're about making sure that this fourth Republican dispensation, we will keep it pure as much as we can, and ensure that the whole attempt to just abuse state power and as it were subvert the will of the people is defeated. Okay,
not just a conversation and center on the constituencies, specific constituencies are more issues with more the presidential and petition about filing edible.
Exactly. Now I am very, very comprehensive into you discuss presidential the reasons the apex court of the land, and you real presidential you narrow on the parliamentary majority, because only a lot of these diplomats they really are excited about the possibility of having small stringent separation of powers, where answer the Supreme Court that decided the presidential the governance framework will have a scenario where another party is in the executive and another party controls the legislation. And if you look at that prospect, it will help to improve checks and balances. It will help to reduce corruption and all of these concerns we have. We've had parliamentary majority is often abused by the those in power, they don't listen. You can have your say, but they'll have their way because they have the numbers. And it's led to a lot of scandals, like this Japan, PDS, Mary scandals that, readily come to mind. And a lot of the international watchers and our governance experts, were quite excited about that prospect. So you can have the real possibility of another party being in control of Parliament until such a time that the presidential determination is made at the Supreme Court. But we all know shenanigans are also. They were losing the parliamentary majority. They just decided to descend on a number of constituencies. Usha their course was issue. We also.
No.
I'm referring to the ruling government in cahoot with the Electoral Commission and some elements in the security agencies. Usha, we are more invaded Techiman South, a shooting for the shoot to kill others that were pursued, and which has led to the death of Ayarik and Tajuddin, young first-time voters. Their only crime is they were at a collation center. And Ghana, since 1992, collation and counting of ballot, a public exercise. It's never been a crime, sir, when you go and vote and you decide, sir, you wait, and now you go home and come back and be part of the counting process. Even the media, we count along with returning officers, with EC officials since 92. But this time, it's as though the declaration of results must be done under brute force with the military taking center stage and all of that. And even people in the military and security agencies, you talk to them, they are not happy at all about how, these matters, panned out. The parliamentary majority, we insist, any idea you best sacrifice it, any idea you best make coins, this daylight robbery, Akoso, Techiman South. Mineo Kasa say up to now, we don't have the summary sheet, we don't have the collation form. A flagrant violation of Regulation 43 of CI 127. Even our opponents who claim to have won, you in the media, anytime you ask them, okay, Muna, you declare winners, summary sheet, no way. They don't have it. Mark Menu was on your program. He doesn't have it. He was on your network. Mustafa Hamid was asked by Evans Mensah. He rather got angry and was pouring invectives on Evans. They don't have it. For more than 2 weeks since that declaration, we were even asking, mostly MPP winning, by what margin, by what numbers? They didn't have it. It was after 2 weeks that since they are in bed together, met and agreed on some fictitious numbers and claimed they have won by
but that will not be a fair comment to make, at least.
Because declarations must be public. Agents must be invited. So if my agent, the NDC agent, is not invited, it's not part of a collation, it's not part of a declaration. There can be only one, and we have sent delegations to the returning officer in Techiman South. He couldn't give us the summary sheet. You saw that video that went viral. General Secretary Larik Bevlolate, Collins Dauda, Baba Jamal, and others. He said we should go to the region. When we went to the region, say, Munsamwechi, go back to the district. We don't have it. Meanwhile, Regulation 43 SA, summary sheet, it's not a nuclear code. And yes, secret document. It's not confidential. Declaration. Post it on walls. It should be on the EC office notice board. Post it at vantage points.
Yeah, but I mean, so his inability to give you the collation sheet, doesn't necessarily mean the NDC candidate won. Meboa.
He won because we have all the 267 pink sheets. We have them, and we've done the collation. We did it publicly with you in the media. We have given the pink sheets to the diplomatic community. We've given it to the civil society organizations. Asepa for Mufre Imani for, they have them. We have nothing to hide. So we have made the pink sheet available. Answer na ubeko the collation center, you will know if you are a diligent political party Me, as an make anytime before I walk to the Bato Social Center, which is used as our collation center, I know the numbers because we are able, using the pink sheets from all the 148 polling stations we have in my constituency, until we know the numbers, by what margins we have won, even before we get to the constituency collation center. So we know. In
your quest to form parliamentary majority, said ya wakana say enya dia mubejai enumu ama aka. There is one avenue so far. Monkoi wakasa mo the pink sheet ni biama diplomatic community, mo diama media, mo diama CSOs. You've not been to the court. When are you going to the court relative to the parliamentary disputed constituencies?
Brilliant question. I mean, the answer would be this question. Let's discuss the matter of remedies. What are the remedies available to political parties? What kind of electoral laws are? And if you also look at our convention since 92, because I keep hearing people say, anytime you raise a concern, oh, go to court, go to court, go to court. There are multiple remedies. When you say, even from the polling station, when you have issues, you can demand a recount at the polling station. You can demand recounting.
Yes.
At the collation center, you can demand recollation.
Yes.
All of these remedies are available. Going to court is not the only option. All those who ride from December 7, anytime you raise an issue. And also the irony, and it's if you look at Banda constituency, at the time we were demanding collation at Techiman South, said there has been no collation at Techiman South. When he said Banda constituency, now more collation. The MPP believed, because the margin of victory was narrow, 81 votes for Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim. They believe that if recollation is done, they will win because they were convinced. And I think Abronia and others, the regional executives, went on air. When him said 3 petitions at least, where the EC granted the MPP the request for recollation. Into omuye recollation, our Banda, omukoye recollation, our regional capital, Techiman, eba national, recollation biome, and the margin dropped, I'm told, from 81 to about 31. But Honorable Ahmed still won.
Omuye recollation biome national.
Yes, that is what the Honorable Ahmed has told us.
From the constituency to the region.
From constituency to the region.
To national.
Yes. And this was public. Obekaya, Abronia and others went public that they are demanding recollation and all of the petition. And it was granted them. We know of other places like Takwa in Swaem, where they demanded recollation. It was granted the MPP. But Ebanisena NDC, since day one, Yabisa recollation, your constituency office, actual petition, region, actual petition, MPs, S&D petition, way before the gazetting was done. You remember the famous walk which the police tried to stop, manhandled us, and the EC snubbed us. She's now sending us ill-fitted apologies, which we are treating the same way she treated us, and waiting for her in Parliament. The MPP gets the opportunity to exercise administrative remedies. There are 2 sets of remedies available. Administrative remedies are you can petition, you can demand either recount at the police station, recollation at the collation center, which is available to us. It's part of the electoral laws.
Yes.
MPP4, when they ask for it, they get it. When we ask for it, we are denied. Why? Is it a banana republic? All those who scream, oh, go to court, go to court. Let's understand our electoral laws and electoral processes. There are administrative remedies and there are the judicial remedies available. If you can exercise administrative options, it is faster. We all will prefer that as political actors. But seeing that now it's clear, Even when Jim Mensah replied our petition and told us that we are look, it's just a six-page petition. Today is the 8th day. If she was even using 1 day to count a page, to read a page. She was using 1 day to read a page of our petition. She should have finished 2 days ago. She still has not told us what the response is, even though she said she will reply the petition within the shortest possible time. To quote her verbatim, it is clear, sir, they have deliberately decided, sir, the administrative remedies available to us, no, they will not open those doors to us because they know what they want to. They know when the doors are open, the rigging that has taken place, no, the collusion will be exposed. And they are joining that mantra, sir, go to court, go to court. I can assure you, sir, that having become the last resort, no, we shall surely go to court. But midnight of January 6th, let nobody try to bring the wrong persons from these constituencies to be sworn in. As for that, it will be the beginning of the series of legitimate democratic resistance, which we have planned for January 6th and beyond. That's one we can assure you.
Okay, that's a point of interest. But before that, I will end on the fact that you would go to court, because when there are infractions of the law, the only avenue to cure that mischief, the court. And Enra, now make even the presidential election petition, most cite copiously Article 296 of the Constitution, which talks about exercise of discretionary power. And it says, Obi discretionary power when you soon year. There is the duty to be fair and candid. And it says, or anything otherwise, the court can cure that particular mischief. Instead, you can some court on Techiman South. We await that. But the point on January 6th, interesting. Say, Obi the candidate. Meaning, for example, say Techiman South, the candidate that was declared by the East, Eba Parliamentary. Mobile then mobile permanent free parliament.
Oh, I'm not sure, sir. Any serious political party will put out its strategies in the public. All I can tell you, and it's we will stand up to defend the democracy of this country. We will rise up and resist the subversion of the will of the people. This daylight robbery, this embarrassing thuggery, which has taken place. Look, it's a democracy. Democracy. People claim they are consummate democrats, and yet deploy such disgraceful schemes. People have died in the process. As we speak, you can't even make a summary sheet available. You can't make a collation form available. The returning officers, the law is clear. If you can't make that available, people must be penalized. Nobody has been sanctioned. They are being shielded, meaning this is sanctioned from the very top. And people think, members of parliament will be sitting sheepishly in parliament for this thuggery, this daylight robbery to take place. Ghana Police Service will tell you when they tried to stop us on our walk, what happened. They saw the resistance in us. Don't underrate people oppressed, people suppressed.
In other words,
who are determined to defeat oppression. Ghanaians, by nature, as Kwame Nkrumah said, we may be slow to anger. We may be slow to mounting our resistance. But when we do rise up, we are unstoppable. They're totally unstoppable. You see, they shouldn't think that they have some elements in the military, all this infiltration that has taken place, vigilantes who have been who have infiltrated the services, wearing beards, sporting earrings.
Sami, you are a member of parliament. Some of the claims you are making on air are
the legitimate persons who are professionally commissioned and all of that. They are not enthused about what is going on. Let nobody think that.
No, let me ask the question. Mami Musa question. Okay. In sum, not just on the 6th of January, we might see what we saw at the precinct of the Electoral Commission. You would forcefully resist the entry into the House of Parliament, some people from the constituencies are in dispute. Moma let's some of the court. Is that your point?
The point I'm making is let nobody think that in this country, some people are second-class citizens. Some people are slaves, and they can rock shot over them. They can violate their rights. They can engage in such despotism, such daylight tyranny, and get away with it. They will face resistance. And I'm telling you, sir, we have carried out a number of steps. Initially, seeking to use administrative remedies. We are now moving into the next phase of our resistance. See, between now and midnight of January 6th, there's so many things that must be done. And we can assure the Ghanaian people who voted for us, who wants their votes to be respected, who wants their will to be valued, that we will do exactly that. And in terms of specific strategies, I cannot give you.
I know they won't find but between now and Seth, would we see you going to the court? Because in a democracy, again, the rule of law and not the rule of men. And you go to court to vindicate your claims. And yet, I'm not too sure about the approach you are proposing now.
In a democracy, you go shooting people.
No.
The lives that have been lost. Omoko court and a judge said, go and kill them. Is that what we do in a democracy? We invade collation centers, arm twist results, put a gun on returning officers. In a democracy, you can carry out a so-called declaration. And when parties in the election, Afghanistan cry, yes, sir. Even in the strangest of places where they have no regard for democracy, we don't hear such things. Where you claim that there is a winner for an election, and yet there is no summary sheet, no collation form, and you want everybody, except there's the winner, everybody else should go to hell.
But you know, sir,
and we the
you
victims,
know, sir, there are prerogative rights of the court to compel authorities to do what they are supposed to do.
We whose supporters have been killed, whose supporters have been maimed, who are hospitalized. Yana, you are asking us to be Democrats. I don't hear you asking them to be Democrats. I don't hear you asking them to stop the gross and grave human rights violations at Ekosiisen. The wanton disregard for the laws of our country. I mean, CI 127 it's just been treated with contempt. Jim Mensah is not accountable to anybody. Up to now, petitions are actually not a single response. And yet when others petition, even verbally, we want recollation, we want recounting, they are granted. Different laws for different people. What is the principle?
Okay.
And yet, you are calling on us, the oppressed, the victims, that we should be Democrats. Those who are shooting us, should continue shooting us. They should continue killing us. They should continue subverting the will of the people. And you expect us to sheepishly be heading to Parliament on the 6th and sit down sheepishly and accept this desecration of our democracy. I'm afraid we will not be fit to be called members of Parliament, to even be allowed in that chamber if we allow this desecration to continue. I make one commitment to you and to all our listeners, particularly those who voted for us, voted in Techiman's out, voted even for our opponents. People vote expecting their votes to count, expecting that they are investing in our democracy should grow, and our democracy should be healthy, and it should reflect the true will of the people. There must be no space for bloodshed, no space for breaking bones, no space for arm twisting. And another, you can expect Kwame Nkrumah's Ghanaians who resisted slavery, who resisted colonialism, to rise up. If you are not there, you can be rest assured. But specific strategies,
and
I surely will not go to town with it.
Okay. Sami my yen fancy. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Bibi any besan so aba bedi nkomo bio. Why?
Yo,
Medasepa. Inti Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, MP for the North Tongue Constituency. Inti we are probably in for an interesting showdown in Parliament on the 6th of January. At least hinta and as a leader Okujeto Ablakwa Ediamaya in the NDC caucus in Parliament no would resist and wakase omuntna ho emma obia free any of the constituencies or more dispute in the Emma Parliament. Under no circumstance would they allow that to happen. A dear party no or say no on far and tuja, but he makes the point say they would resist. But in studio, so a member of parliament, a certain member of parliament for the Medina constituency and director of communications for the NPP. Monsieur Medina, you're ready, meu. Adenta constituency, the Honorable Yao Boabin Asamoah Eskaya or a lawyer ni Mapa. Honorable Akwaba na pom to saying.
Yenya, me oyepa.
We dey facha me anka me do conference na ekobe before fro.
Me ni apanyin no.
Zemo bo ho.
Me ni apanyin.
Aha. Enti Adenta constituency mrahye bedwani Yao Boabin Asamoah. What your colleague Okujeto Ablakwa? Are you on the majority side now, not prepared for our showdown on the 6th?
Obi medasi edikan nsema matene masumha no meka se yenkomudi ya yebedi yemfa mpai bokese ene nhyase Ghana ya safu ya huwa emai na se mrahye bedwani etika se fidie iso na o kan sem kese ayedi tutu enhihye ya yenyina ya hihye egu se womo no ntena ho mpene mamra enye adwuma no kansem kese webie kumobi obi ayesi ti sedie se Ghana jatum entesa e wosinya abudwo ene abutre ho se ye kase ye kono kwan ye omo pesom de ye fa so no a obi ebia na aduma Ghana de adum womo no omo ntiase Ghana adum NPDC o se yato aba we ya ye koto no na ni daso no so pa na yato aba na matimi enya nkonwankwa ha aduasanso ensomwani manya no nti afei de mo pese mo ye basabasa na modidi ase de mumunya ene ye musem de ande hunso ande jimensa ya de na de mo anya ne de wai baifo enti yen sei o man mo di bibi twede mapoma hwede ahye ntoma mu se mo di bedidi kamami ka bi amamu ase mo kasa kesi akesi yen mu huna yen efiri ne koka da ye bebie
on Asempa FA
mrahwe bedwam no mo bekire bibi ebesie ede na ebesie
I said they would resist.
E kwan be so no be resist on be botuo on be to twede on be yeden na obusa no eyemra kamika bia mamu no eyemra emra ne yede bibia ye nyina yadwanko bia ene mra enye sade e sori anopa obi mfugui mehwe ni sunu magia ko ne ye pon emefe pa mehwe ni sunu magia ko efise me kondo senka me na hyeme sa mamu no woka no eye NDC se wo mwadi nkunim enu nti ya amfa nkunimdi na eye omo se wo mwadi no a ombeshi man no na the NDC wo me electoral commission enom de nam na asrafo na wo mo mpene so ni ade omo hye asrafo kutupa so omo nye den de omo ye ni nyina enkosi hwe enipa sen na tie gu abonte omo so sa basabasa mempene ne so enipa kakra bia omo ntia siese awurade aye Ghana adom awurade aye NDC adom se wa mom saa kwanya ne hihye kese no a se bi wo mo no atimi abedru baabi ombetimi ne MPP atentam amammu fufuro ye ni da so aye behwe me no me gidi se saa biri ye ko yanim no amammu no ye bi hu se emra ebigina efise opia wo kan mam ke bia mamum wiase afa na nyina odwan ko bia ne asendi bia,
which is the court.
Yes,
but utie the basis of more agitations now. He makes the point, for example, say more remedies are hold obe mienu ana miensa administrative remedies wo and judicial remedies wo inti even before so be come mra enim no e was say more explore administrative remedies na ba ko any recount and ekoso at the polling station, recollation ekoso collation center in Techiman South specifically. Oma call for recollation omunsankai collation summary sheet omunhubi. Meanwhile in just next door ewo banda NPP momo call for recollation. It was done 3 times for you. Why not them? Just hear them rebi mamo no mo de na mrafo front ye de edi won.
Kranti na wose wo court na ko kache court ne se woni na mi hwe na mi so mani so be yeden ebeba na meti hano mebi we yemfama me na me yonko de yedi amana efise wo ka se wo no age ahye wo nsem na wo mpeni ade na wo beye de wo beye no wo jimra no asi ubo hwe de kura me Ghana Gazette Parliamentary elections results
2020. Yes.
So be.
Yes.
Who be them? Soft
copy no.
Bono East. Techiman South. Registered voters 128,000 in excess. Martin Kwekweje Mensa Kosa MPP 49,682.
Yes.
50.24%. Christopher Bayere Basong 49,205, 49.76%. J. Mensa duly elected. It's in the Gazette. A Gazette in Muvia Atra administration.
Atra administrative remedies, no? In the recollation, next animal Atraho.
Atraho. Inti, what kwanya ne se Obeko court. I don't know Musru court. Oma ke bia kire yempen oma ke bia kire obia pen hiase ekoyechi ni ekosem se we can we dasi ye nyini no kemma min kan bia mamu no en meka brofo kakra ye bibia identity politics nkrofo epe self expression. Freedom gives rise to self expression. Na self expression ye jana watra se obia anya de oba obi, it will descend into anarchy. What you say?
Yeah.
Self identity. Where you media, where you mean penny. Why dear ye bejatum? MPP sit Techiman South. You didn't kunim. You member ba. And this is mean penny, me manemba. India bere. You be koni chaskeli.
Almost they will resist.
Twedie.
They will resist on the 6th of January.
Twedie.
Omo makwan. Parliament. Or said yeah, with the police easy premises. No, they resisted forcefully police for attacks on them. And a similar thing would happen.
Me bomb paye. Say shasem see mom paye. Me bomb paye say Ghana for any munya momashe NDC. Omuntu said the Barbaro kind and tungu sabi preku bomb. If say me jidi say saba we to you know.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Chire yen MPP force yen tintra yen hwe ni ye. Eko memre anhwe anka 2024 no a e wo se etra no. Ye siesie man ne to aso che no. E bi anka beto afom yen. Nti aye kokobo bi a akoye ni monyama ma NDC so monya kwan. E betra ban mu no mu ene yen atentam wo parliament. Ghana fo e wo gidie pa se MPP ne betumi hwe man so. Nti aba o mato ama na nado. Kesipa echinye biye ni ho na emumu no so mo pese bibi fufuru bi si parliament na o maye de o maye no a me gidi se NDC for so mo tetena na o mo hwe adom no na o mo siesie adom no na o mo hwe so yie na de o mo de keka ko edie enhye yen to aba no animuonyam enhye animuonyam se yato abawie na mo si chinchini a mo de dia mo pene yenye obi se ensem yo mbeka bia na etwa se ankran ntimi mfamra enhye ne nsem ewo ka mamika bia mamum ewo ne etwa.
But when physically say ade we pa de ye bome pa na ye bra me so he makes the point, and I don't know say you flip a coin and you fan say MPP and na ebia constituency bi mu gidi pass mo wini na constituency no coalition say koso sa nkoso mu ntimi hu coalition of summary coalition sheet bia ene ade na easy a gazette result say mon tiase amon kokota. How would you take it?
Obi 2012 2012
yeah
na enim se yedi nkunima wie
Asempa FM
abanu ko na no afi na adane afi de nam verification yeso wo hwe obi anim ebeye manual verification de yesi entiase 2012 na wasi ya to abana dakoro ewie eko na nu ana already.
That's true.
Adie be konenu no danwa ansa na adie be chinenu no na yen MPP nim se yedi nkunim nti e konenu no ya anwene hu mienu kura ni nim se ewie bibia adie chen na adane anya yede ye twa ye ni hwe se adie na ko he no emu ahwerem we de nya constituency ba ko na je constituency mienu ya abani nyina ye presidency no amu any parliament nso ka ho abani nyina ne kase ni nyina ne kase pa ye presidency ade chen na adane ye twa ye ni se ade de mu awrem ya ankase atentam kontiba ye nkwara na omani so ahye ne bi ko hia wo bra sport a na yempanyimfo si da bi ye die nhihye na ye no ya ba yanim efisi ye ko constitution mu aboa yen ndi yen ntena ho emma basabasa ye ma ye nkola enyi mra nhye o munsem kyese ya to aba ma na tia ye nti na emom no ya bo so nyoso ndi ye be den ye be kokot ye kokot a enye de nra ye hu ye ibio petition Supreme Court petition. This is the petition.
Yeah.
Supreme Court. Yen yetnasi. Esemu. Ehwehwe ye pink sheets. Ebu nkonta. Ye komu ankasa. Hwe. Obi, anya kura na minim se baby officers ansign. Ebetwagu. Okay. Yetimi semu anya aduon 24 different categories of infractions. So kaya share pink sheet ni nyina ehwe polling stations cry who say semi polling station na ni wiase. Enso na a polling station won kratas. Finger of God. Okay, finger of God. Baako 9 finger of God nko a baako 9. Pink sheet kura na any serial numbers. Aya ne nema pink sheet abamu ene onu ti ojo na nu so mo pink sheet ni ade no. Pink sheet. E ho de hu pink sheet ho mfa so. 27-0. Eniema ye hu no 2012 ye to ye bo asiko mu no. Na che se obia ni hwa. Onyin tum se because.
Yeah, but eventually the court did not rule in your favor.
Thank you. I want to me bano. Obi, me see me anya kura. Me lawyer kakra medie. Nem nim se emremu nhye ebi wo ho. Efiri bi sha. Eno ndi ye chire yade efiri enkola brim wo efense. Asye law say shall de shall mandatory also ye. Na Constitution say returning officer dio no de wo hwe abana wo kan no shall de sign and as say already shall sign form no a final result no pink sheet no shall sign a by na pink sheets be bring signatures no of electoral commission officers no mo ye adwuma no form one ni so enti me petition 2012 me te court dem honya nam nim se no nko ade court no be kase e wo se yetwam efi se shall sign e wo constitution mo mo ansign yetwam a nke ko run off 2012 yetwa asade ni mu a ke ko run off enso court no be ka kire yen se nipa baako a na dwuma so obetwam no se wono anye na dwuma yi a omu kase omu sei eno na chese wo mu a omani na so se sa nipa no be di onhwambo a omkoto santri fra omache ade san omu to maba no na emra etwa asei wo mu tumi efise omu nsuso ewo tumi so to maba woti ase wo mu tumi ni so to maba nti wabeto na badia se the constitution eti bia nipa baako a wanye na dwuma yie enti min sei sa tumi no enti ya amfa amaye ijaye shalo ebesi ne misia lawyer panyi bia bibusa ne se enti shalo a Supreme Court ebutu no petition hearing no wati ase esen obi antimi nyima no wati ase enso ye wie no nanado oka ho bi na sa constitution enyini 1992 constitution nanado ka ho bi any major constitutional case be a decision bia a fa constitutional interpretation nanado has been involved over the years. Constitutional development of this country means Frank America say over 68 cases all bordering on rights and expansion of rights, duties, constitutional liberties. Niema papa ibijina ho eka se de akoso no
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Yenyi na hwe TV ni bi busumi nwotwe ade ani ya hunu bia ka che zo ye to aba ni wi a e bia officer no hwa beje nti wansan enye hwe hwa beje ti wansan enye hwe miwa ye official ye woso ye sadi we nyina wi over voting e de ye ni nyina wi no mse enye hwe o sisi hwe abana ya to no saa na wosetie a ejina nti ye ntimi ankyere se ye mutu no. This is a whole election 2012 including the presidential seat and ye sure say we be touch him. Here we are. You are talking about a constituency. Now so be parliament. Constituency.
When you sue that they will resist.
And how is he going to resist? Omun can say they no mo be here to resist apart from the law. And I'm then na proceed for him pedi e and a soldier for him pedi e no mo can say be say the mo di proceed for any soldier for ase masa omo boa o emema okromha everybody believes in democracy in this country. Ya to aba nwotwe ye ntra ho ma NDC for ensey no mema okromha ye ntra ho no mechechie mu sese ni se ye kire mu court me see mema okromha NDC for the mo ye nhihye bia a free first e copim 7th ye kemo.
And he makes the point they are keeping their strategies no close to their chest.
Strategy
my meetings bebre ultimately to resist entry into parliament of Obia or free set or free disputed constituency and air, but they will not allow that person.
America for them kokasa and san of your money.
Now say legitimate say civil resistance legitimate. No
civil resistance to force somebody not to take on their rights. Civil resistance, just say, obey a peaceful demonstration, but you cannot force somebody. Civil resistance, just say, me, but parliament, ya gazette,
me,
no, what you musa, won't pin, was to me, Matadi, Moana, what ye dear, now, Bebo mani so. Obe so me matari ma tweme. E de na obeye. E de na obeye. Civil resistance is not degenerative. Civil resistance in chese papa niema sheniema enipa na wo pene di ne so na wo no se o besom no wo sei ne niema wo ma ne yam hye no wate egu abonte wo to abo wo hyetai wo sei ne niema wo sei ne ka wo sei ne adwuma wo sei ne shop no na ono no nani nyi wo ho se wo civil right wo pe parliament majority nti be hye ne store wo pe majority nti Bonica glass open majority nti totobo police open majority nti police ba but the police ni nani so and no civil right and America no sanity dia obi misi nde me free studio amaji ufugui me maji ufugui me si ma phone me modu kakra che
modu sen
ma beti e wo soro kakra me boa me kenya me hu se si ya wo studio ha na me ka se fugui ya me fe na meji dia na be Ide na be nye prosi na be frɛ no.
Yes.
Ekosiisen on
na wo be frɛ prosi na adwuma ne sɛn. Enye mra law and order. Ene om sɔre na prosi fa kugum krofo ya botuo soldier fa botuo. Law must be maintained. Order must be maintained.
Including shooting at innocent unarmed civilians.
Bemena, all these things need to be proven. What you say? Ewo no mni ade abano. Said me pese me ko machi abakosem na safi we say ni say we na kukukudo ene ko fa kika na yeden eba what you say? Adenta yankan aba wo police ba ho soja kumobi madina yankan aba wo 275 constituencies yankan aba nti ba ne sen na ba bi de ono otia o efense ni constituency yankan ya ba ho obi batutuo ho e de ne ko bae ono ontimi nka se de ko bae ni sei na ono na sem na de na me so mi ntra nka se de ko bae sei na mi ma sem we de eno nti ne wo court. Oh, it's the simplicity of court na mean omutsuru so omukwa omasem nyina so ndem wanwana.
No, but say even for the presidential election, they are in court. Ain't ya no musrobio. Says here the South Surono any hobio na
presidential election is one petition be is laughable. What would the my answer of court? What would the auditor court is worker? Also court there's almost an quabonty. Is that right?
Also they would embark on all other legitimate.
That's right.
Operative word near the legitimate.
The only no microphone no come to a book or shita legitimate. Legitimate. In some more can we kakra meti no legitimate. Mubu die be ye beshe mudie ya tupuman twediashen tumam soja fo panyimfo mpede mu ye no mubehu ombedi di minus num no kika kan legitimate. Ehunehuna wo hunehuna man ni nyina kasa na wo kan awie no legitimacy no way. Kwa na eme makroma ena om ye legitimate say ye de ebe ko demonstration wo court ade na kwa demonstration wo court ade na wo nam kwa ho san kwa demonstration ne be ma court na asesa na dwan na so be de wo court ade no wo si yesisi ehefa kwa mu na abeka no wo kwa mu no wakobia obia ni kwa mu ho beka na asema ma wo obeka wa asema ma wo ode ba Ekosiisen so a obeka na asem nyina obi obetimi ama na ye president wotimi ama na ye president de asweye ba ko pe ene betimi aka a wo se obedi president ana woni ade se ya wabobo na wona onim se wabobo pa na watu ampa ho na ball na dodge keeper defender ko to ne nan na atoafon ball na dodge keeper srod abache na nkrofo yakobo defense na yapon a wosimi na ball pa na nyese eya enka ntiji se mode mame we mu do mnim ball just NDC for ji wo mu buso ene Ghana ya to ababa ko nwotwe NDC for si yenya omo obunje di omo pe If so omo see eno no omo pe. Omo see eno no omanya. NDC for the NDC asemuntum nyenja obi ade. Yenji NDC asemuntum nyenja obi ade. Nyenka se NDC for hunu anti, NDC for ko demonstration, NDC for hyehyeta, NDC amakuruma yehunti monye de amope.
Ekosiisen
NDC for court. Asa na court no be kasa no. Wo mu san ye de nti se mami musa asem. So omo court na court kasa wi a demonstration wo be jaya demonstration be jaya
Say Supreme Court no de omo judgment ba wi a.
Demonstration be jaya. Bisa wo mu. Se wo ko Supreme Court, wo si wo nkrofo so ntinwu abonten na omo nye demonstration. Demonstration wo be ya kopim da ben da Supreme Court be kasa. Na demonstration now yana Supreme Court wo ye na adwuma no. Enu nti na Supreme Court be kasa ama wana. E dey nti no mo tie gu abonten. Se enu ne be ma Supreme Court di ade na ma wo mana.
But the point is say who rights be a bit my exercise here. Who determines some me exercise one right it should prevent me from exercising the other right. Into yes, I've exercised my right to go to court, but I also have that right to demonstrate.
To what end?
You don't determine that.
You exercise your rights to what end? If it's a who exercise your rights.
Yes.
Na obeto to abo. Na say me ka na prosi chiwa. Wo say prosi ekumi. O hyehyɛ tie. Na say ejato me dem na prosi chiwa. Wo say prosi a abomitu prosi ekumi prosi achime. Na me right no prosi tete me. What you say? I want you to see every. I mean, the meaning say you are no. For me, these are going to be very exciting and interesting times for the courts. What you say? A hot also do money. If you say, "Okay, say what the bugani adia law must be kept, order must be kept. Obi democratic society bia." Law and order is the cornerstone.
Is the cornerstone, rule of law.
Rule of law.
Lawyer ya Boabia someone I'm telling you. Meba my share statement and what they buy and that statement was specific on the NDC's and I say former President John Mahama's election petition into their own statement about yebedi ehon enkomo, and would also be joined by a spokesperson for the NDC. You know, as far as the election petition is concerned, na afi ya share omonso omo case a war court and enra and omo e file inti we'll come back near yaw etumi atwa, so that will be after this short